the star all the time. You're seeing him on television. You're seeing him hosting shows, being a judge. You're seeing him in ads. You're seeing him in YouTube. You're seeing the star everywhere. So for me, to see my favorite star, I don't have to go to the theater. So when I'm not going to the theater to see a star, what am I doing? I'm going to the story.
Okay.
But that has changed now. So there was a time when we were investing in stars because stars were born in film. And now we understand that though a star can be in film, he's also accessible on the platforms. Which then brings you to me. Because when, I've been doing horror films since Rs100 Cr. And it is few of them, of course. And then there was a time when, I remember I was watching Avatar in Los Angeles, and I was thinking, the director, Israeli technology was the first of And 6 months later, I got a call from the star and said, yeah, we got those gigs, we got those people, we got the same guy. I said, Avatar guys. They said, yes, we got that. In fact, I couldn't believe it. Because there was a time when we had to wait for years for the technology to come in. And here 6 months later, it was available. And fortunately for me, it went well with the genre of film that I made. 3D is very good. Because in India, we don't believe in immersive 3D. In India, 3D means things have to be coming.
Something has to fall onto his, yeah.
It's a 3D cat. So when I tried to use this, I tried to make it immersive, and all the reviews said, 3D can do this, So I realized that, like a glass, three cockroaches have to come. So that's what we did.
But let me just add to this thought. I just want to add to this thought that I think one of the reasons why 3D took so long to emerge as a force in cinema was because everyone that tried 3D just fell in love with 3D. And all that you saw in those films were people jumping out at you, things whizzing by your head, explosions happening in your face, and nobody worried about the story. Not until Avatar really came with 3D, with a great director, a great story, and the whole thing worked, that people said, no, films in 3D can also make $1 billion. And, ironically, Avatar is not shot like those jump out at you kind of 3D films. There's only one shot in the whole film where something whizzes by you. So it's shot in 3D for realism rather than sensationalism. But I'm not ruling out the importance of sensationalism, especially in a genre like horror, where you need to scare the hell out of people at critical points. But that storytelling has come to 3D is actually a big step forward for 3D and for cinema.
Yeah, but like I remember I was looking at this gentleman called who works with James Cameron, and he said when James Cameron reviewed Avatar, someone came and said, hey, I've got these people who've been working for 40 years on 3D, and he said, for them out because they did nothing.
Right.
Get me guys who haven't tried anything yet, because they're the guys who do. I mean, the mirror rig in 3D is such a revolution that it's technical, but because what he did, the mirror rig has changed systems. Because 3D is what you see with two eyes. And there used to be cameras that have lenses next to each other because you need two lenses.
Right.
But what happens if you want to pull the lenses even closer? You could not, because the body of the camera was bang. And James Cameron and his team raised the monument rig, invented a mirror rig where you could put one camera on top and make it look like a periscope. And
wow.
The camera looked straight through the glass. So you could have both cameras looking at the same vision without banging. And that changed 3D because you could control 3D.
Right.
That's what Avatar did.
Umesh, I'd like to ask you, because you're the only official writer or full-time writer on this panel, what are the ingredients of, the basic ingredients of a good script? What would you say a good script must have?
I would say soul. I would say that. So the story is
Right.
Please make Oh My God Part 2. मैं चाहता हूँ 40% रिडक्शन हो अगली बार.
Right, Sunil, well appreciated, well appreciated. Sunil, let me ask you, is it just the strength of script writing or the strength of script writing within a good story that propels a film to your 100 crore club? Or is it genre specific as well? That certain genres will get there, none others?
Not really, it's purely content drives you, take you to the next level. And if content is purely content, will drive you to take to the next level of the 100 crore. Because there is A is a talent, and second is the script. If talent without craft is like fuel without engine. So in similar way, if talent is being padded with the craft, then the result, sky is the limit. Like example, like Three Idiots. And for us, from the distribution point of view, we purely see what is the maker's background and as well as the star cast and plus the promos which is eye-catchy, and based on that we do our homework and the groundwork from the audience point of view, which is lacking in our Indian, because now it's been started by the most of the studios where they do research and do a focus group screening, and based on that they do their marketing activities accordingly. So with that sense of activity we get a buzz around the audience, so where the box office will go to the next level.
But when you say market research, you're saying that the bigger companies go to a focus group and say, read the script and tell us what you think?
Not really. They don't do the focus group, but they show the film during the rough cut.
Yeah,
and based on that, they take the feedback.
There used to be this place called Preview House on Sunset Boulevard in Los Angeles, which had these dials on the seats. And when you were more interested in the film, you sort of dial to the right, and when you were less interested in the film, you dial to the left. And then they would collate all these results at the end of the thing. And then, of course, the executives would say, people are bored out here, and they'd cut out all the slow bits, and the film would tank. Yeah. You know? So focus groups aren't necessarily the best judge of what works, because even every story has its rhythm.
But you think, Kabir, these are just sort of marketing gimmicks, these marketing jargons, ploys just to entangle you, because everybody has, opened a shop, and these things were never there. They're never prevalent in the Indian film industry. And nobody knew about focus group, target group. Nobody did research or anything, and the films, all of them, mostly all of them were successful.
No, but the fact of the matter is, the reality of our industry is that most producers wouldn't want to have a focus group screening before the release. Kahin puri report nikal aayi to kya hoga? So, all your distributors.
this has been
But
purely...
according to me, I
Shekhar.
think as an audience, on what level a script would work, on two levels. Basic, when you watch a film, is like, when you relate to the protagonist or the other characters, you would say, oh, he's just like me, or I'm like him. And the second level is, I wish I could be like him. So when you
Right.
talk about like Superman or
Right.
Batman, it's, I wish I could be like him. So, there is a tremendous sort of empathy with the characters, and it becomes aspirational. That's the time the script works.
It's also a question of changing times. Like Edith Head said that in the 30s, everyone wanted to be like the stars. Today, the stars want to be like everyone else. So there is a whole, they want to play the common man. They don't want to necessarily play, Superman, except for the odd cases. In other words, they don't want to be the sort of traditional, at least in a lot of Western cinema, sort of the traditional action heroes. They want to be more human heroes. And that is certainly a part of the mix. But let me come back to you, Vikram, here. When you're looking at source of inspiration for scripts, do you find it better to go out and create an original script? Or do you find it better to derive inspiration from a script, or just literally buy the rights to another film and remake it?
Very honestly, there was a time when we used to report like crazy. Because those are different times. We were working very hard to just see about orders and letters. And it used to be the other way around. The producer used to say, "Mere paas is actor cricket. Mere paas is actor cricket. He was available, or the zero wants to do it like this, or the zero wants to do, and we were for that kind of do something." And then there came a time where I think things changed, because like when content started becoming important. I remember when I started writing 1920, which was in 2007. Since then, I haven't been responsible for taking any inspiration from any other film. I thought, good, bad, indifferent.
Right.
I just try to do whatever I can.
Raveena, I need to ask you a question as an actress. In terms of your experiences with scripts, have you heard a script that seemed like nothing but turned out to be a great film? Or vice versa? Have you heard a great script?
More so vice versa.
A great script that turned out to be an absolute dud.
And then they turned out to be nothing. But
Raveena, I wanted to also ask you, when you look for a script, considering most scripts revolve around the hero, so what does the heroine look for in a script? I mean, do you look for how many songs you've done? Do you look for the money? Do you look for, I mean, what is it that makes you pick
मेरा
up a
आइटम
script?
गाना है कि नहीं?
हाँ, exactly.
और मेरा ड्रेस डिजाइनर कौन है? और next, what will be the money, like you said? No, I mean, jokes apart. Honestly, I think I've been one of those few fortunate ones who I have done films like a Satta or a Daman, or now doing, I have done Shobna's 7 Nights, which has gone to a lot of international film festivals, been appreciated, won awards. So I have had these kind of films also in my kitty. And let's not only talk about realistic cinema, let's also talk about commercial films. Whether it was Mohra, or it was Dilwale, or it was Imtihan, they were all heroine-centric films, or Andaz Apna Apna. The film revolved around this girl, and then the heroes around it, or the script, or the suspense, or whatever. So it was not that it was only, okay, this level of where the heroine comes, there's song and dance. These kind of things happen in Hollywood as well. You pick up a Bruce Willis movie, you pick up a Daniel Craig movie, you pick up, any of these action hero movies, and whether it's Julia Roberts or it's any other big heroine, she'll only have 3 or 4 or 5 scenes maximum. Unless the script is different, where Julia Roberts gets to do her own, Pretty Woman or that film which she won.
Irina Brockovich.
Yes, Brockovich, which she won the award for. So it also depends on what you pick up. So I do beg to differ that only because over here, actually this discussion is with filmmakers right now. I'm being the heroine. You just called me for being the glamour face here, I know. So I'm better looking than all of them on this panel right now.
Item number.
Yeah, I'm your item number at the moment.
Right.
But on a serious note, yes, definitely we women now more so now. Because I think cinema has opened up, we've broadened our horizons, we've got young filmmakers. He made Dangerous Ishq with Lolo. And I mean, today even married heroines like us who have 2 kids at home have the scope of choosing our own scripts and doing good work and still being out there. So I think it is, a time where we can also be selective, and we do wait for that right script to come along.
In fact, one of the reasons for calling you was not just for the sake of the item, but also because you have seen it evolve for quite some time, and we want to know whether, as a film watcher, as someone married to a distributor, and as an actor yourself, whether you're seeing scripts getting more importance today, the content getting more importance today.
See, I think if you see history of cinema, you'll see, they said, okay, 70s was the golden era, where it was, again, script was king. Then came the 80s, where there was films like Himmatwala and this and that, where anything was going, and the item songs came in, and then there was the 90s, which saw more so the action period. And I think towards late 90s, it started changing all over again, till we came to now 2000, and now we are in this, we're already in 2013 now. And again, it has moved towards more intelligent cinema. You're seeing films like he made, Oh My God, which gives you room for thought, and which is they're slowly becoming cult films, because people are following that. There's a discussion of Oh My God, I think, in almost every living room. Whenever people are together and the talk about religion starts, you automatically talk about his film. So I think that is what he meant to say, was that he wants, when a person walks out of the theater, to leave a piece of his film in that person. When he walks out of that theater, he carries it out with him.
Back present.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that is what is important in today's generation of films that you're seeing, is good, intelligent, thought-provoking scripts. And I respect that completely.
And you find that increasingly being given importance today?
Yes.
Bharti, what has happened earlier, the big heroes would demand big banners. Give me a big banner, Yash Chopra or Manmohan Desai or Prakash Mehra. Give me a big heroine. Give me big money. Give big locations. Today, they only ask for, give me a good script.
Because they're producing it themselves.
Whatever. No, not even when they are not producing it. They demand a good script.
Yes.
Which is such a healthy trend that has emerged, that they are actually looking for a script. Yes. I mean, even Akshay has gone around saying that when he dabbled with comedy and action, he wanted to actually do something which will histrionically prove him, a cut above the rest, and that's why he did a film called Special Chappies. Yes. And he's received critical acclaim for that.
Ranbir Kapoor, when he experimented with Barfi. I mean, this young kid on the block, new generation hero, who could have chosen any nice love story with a lot of great songs and music, but he preferred to choose something like Barfi, which
even Rocket Singh or Wake Up Sid. I mean, these are very,
they're all different films.
I'll give you my number.
Take it from me. अच्छी स्क्रिप्ट होगी तो बता.
Yes, I agree with you, because there was a Tamil film called Tandavam made very recently with Vikram, and since everybody is looking at the South to make remakes, I heard Karan Johar telling Hrithik Roshan, take a look at it. And in the meantime, I met Vikram, and he told me Salman Khan called him up and said, keep a show for me. So which means they're all looking for different subjects and different scripts. The whole lot of them are looking.
I want to raise an issue here about women and scripts. Not talk about women-oriented subjects, we had a separate session on that, but today, especially in light of this whole Delhi gang rape and people's uprising and demanding of respect for women, and the Justice Verma report saying that, women have to be treated with far more respect in every level of life, and violence against them is not accepted. Bollywood has always had a tradition of the hero, approaching the girl, chheda chhadi ho rahi hai, secretly she likes it, etc. Is that a way of being disrespectful for women. Do you regard that as still as acceptable? It may have been acceptable at one time. Is it acceptable today? Is it okay to show that today? Is it okay to encourage people to think that, yes, that's the way you should woo girls? Or do you think that, yes, it's okay because nobody takes that seriously? What is your point?
It's on the wane and nobody does it today.
पहले तो कई ऐसे सीन्स थे जहां हीरो काफी हरकतें ऐसी करता था जो आज लोग मंजूर न करें. तो today when you're writing a script, will you take the same liberties? So something has changed there.
Raveena, would you also as a woman not do it anymore?
I didn't do it then either. I mean, to be very honest, I remember when I did this song called Tu Cheez Badi Hai Mast Mast with Akshay and me. And both of us were the Mast Mast cheese because I was singing to him and he was singing to me. It was not only me.
You were not
and we both were singing to Paresh as well. So Paresh was the cheese. Yeah, he was the must cheese actually. That was the secret of the whole song. Nobody understood up till now. But, you know, the thing, there was an uproar even at that time. But it depends on how your perspective is. I do agree today's, you know, songs have changed, lyrics have changed. I think people's mindsets have changed. There's a lot of difference, you know, in a song, for example, Jhumka Gira Re in the 70s, Bareilly ke Bazaar mein. There's a line which she says ke dupatta chhina. Kisne? What do they call the inspector? Thekedar ne or something. There's a line which actually says कि उसने मेरा दुपट्टा छीना. Now at that time there would have been a big hue and cry, but in those days it was seen far more innocently. You know, people's mind, it was a fun thing. You know, now times have changed. You know, I mean, I was reading actually this morning that statistically rape has become the highest crime in our country today, more than murders or more than robberies or more than thefts, which is a crazy statistic. So somewhere basically the mindset has changed. In those days, little chheda chhedi was fun, you know, which used to actually happen in colleges and all. But now it's not taken innocently because it's reached a different level. They throw acid on a woman's face if, you know, she doesn't reciprocate. If you think of Tu Cheez Badi Hai Mast Mast in Hindi, which in Lucknow actually he would know, they say, "Arey ama yaar, tu cheez badi mast." You know, ek Lucknowi slang tha. That time it was taken innocently. In English, if you say, "Arey Shekhar yaar, you're a fantastic thing, yeah," nobody will mind because in English it sounds great.
Yes.
But yes, I do agree. Even today, for example, when that song Fevicol plays and if there's a party going on, I walk off the floor because I find it vulgar. I hate it. I would not like my daughter or my 5-year-olds or singing that song or humming and dancing on "Main Fevicol hu, main tandoori chicken hu, alcohol se pee le." No, that is disgusting.
But you would agree, Raveena, that all the earlier films, and I'm sure Kabir must have been also a part of this, हीरो छेड़ता ही था लड़की को, चाहे कॉलेज से क्लास से निकाल के या उसके घर के नीचे जाके खड़ा रहता था, सीटियां मारता था, बहुत वल्गर तरीके से छेड़ता था, और हीरोइंस वो पहले ना करते, अंत में हाँ करती थी वो.
Yeah.
You would agree that, and that's how the common perception is कि लड़की पहले ना करेगी और फिर लास्ट में हाँ तो करनी है, तो that's how they started doing all this eve teasing.
If you really
अच्छा, हीरो इतना कमबख्त था, वो सबकी बहनों को छेड़ता था, उसकी बहन को कोई छेड़ दे तो तलवार लेके आया था.
हाँ, तो फिर हाथ काट देता था. But no, but then you can't really blame films for that because at that time now, yes, I agree that things have become raunchier, which, all of y'all must have heard about the censor ban now, that item songs can only be played after, and if they are found vulgar and raunchy, they will be played only after, only on.
No, I mean, this
cinemas,
affects cinema in major ways, because not only is it saying no violence against women shall be shown on screen, not even a slap. And number two, every song, not just the film, every song will be rated for, whether it's adult or you, for transmission on television. Therefore, you can have a U film or a UA film, but have a song that's A in it that cannot be shown on television. Right. I'm just wondering whether because there's a fine line between gender sensitivity and moral policing. And it's it's very slippery slope to go down, because then the censor board being given powers, like any government institution being given powers, is always liable to be overused or abused.
But that's a risk in anything, then that way there won't be any control anywhere, because everyone will have a question towards it. And for someone who would love songs, and I love music, and I love my industry and everything, would somewhere towards the end agree with that okay, fine, if this is it, maybe it's a norm that we have to go through, because let's face it, somewhere along, and it's not only in India, but world over, somewhere cinema does influence young minds. There have been murders, there have been serial murders happening in the US because some kid has seen something on the net, or some kid has seen some movie which has inspired him to go and do the same. Likewise, there's a double argument to this also, that everything is not copied. Before 9/11, you saw those buildings go down. That seemed like science fiction. That's never been seen anywhere, and that was real life.
So do you think item songs should be banned?
No. It shouldn't be banned. According to me, I think there should be an adult hour. That does happen even globally, that after 11, if you want to screen songs or you want to show things like that, there should be a certain system where after 11, you do whatever you want. Yeah, exactly. There you go.
I hope you didn't use one of that like as a soap.
And now if you see any ads,
yeah. Exactly. In fact, some of the ads are so raunchy nowadays. You see some of the ads, they're pretty raunchy, yeah. Axel or something, yeah.
Disgusting. Especially the sanitary.
Yeah, but the ads don't have a censor board,
Really? Sunil, is there any kind of...
they're not subject to the same standards as the film industry.
I want to ask Sunil. Sunil?
No, but that's not raunchily disgusting, no? That's scientific. And no, but honestly, I do believe that somewhere along you do owe an explanation to your children. Tomorrow, if my daughter does see a sanitary napkin ad, I won't find it disgusting. I will tell her, sweetheart, at the right time, this is biological. I will explain it to her, but I will not say, oh my God, you cannot show that.
Sunil, is there any kind of box office figures that you can give us on whether these item numbers really work?
See, it all depends, because item song drives the opening weekend, but then again it is purely depending upon the content of the film. See, like in Agnipath, Chikni Chameli definitely played a very, very crucial role for the opening. Otherwise, if you see, the other songs of Agnipath was not so encouraging.
Okay.
So the net result is we don't need script, we need item numbers, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
But tell me, Sunil, how would it affect you, this ban of, not showing these songs now on... depends on if they find it raunchy or they give an A certificate to it. How would it affect you, your business?
See, basically, the social media networks plays a very important role in this case. Even if it has been adult on the television segment, but now the audience have become groomed so much that they are hooked on to mobiles, YouTube's, nets, so they can watch anywhere where there is an adult.
Correct.
Yeah. So that, I think, plays an important role for the audience to drive to the box office and as well as the cinemas.
I wanted to ask one quick question to Vikram. Would it be technology, would it be content, or would it be star power for a film importance?
Some films will require star power. You cannot name a superhero film or you may get back, but I think it will require star power for some films. Some films
Yes, but then you managed, after Haunted, you made your Rs. We didn't really have very major stars in it.
No, but see, Rs is a different kind of franchise.
It's a brand, yeah.
Brand.
Yeah, it's a franchise.
To me, I did not do part 2 with me coming back to it again. And there was the Basha from part 1. And there was the so there was a lot of marketable things in the film, so to speak. I don't think that he is going to go out there.
Okay.
It's going to be the film, because he can't be a story.
Okay.
He can only be something that enhances the story. Like
Right.
people are being called teacher. There's a person she's a PD and I'm trying to go high but it depends how steady the teacher is.
Right.
I mean, just by saying that it's going to be the teacher doesn't really mean.
Okay.
Can we open
Question.
we open to some questions?
Yes.
So if you have, and please keep your questions as questions preferably
stand up,
rather
please?
than
We can't see it.
Statements.
Yeah.
Where he almost molested the heroine.
Which film?
I said, छेड़छाड़ जो है, what's happening now happened then also. Shammi Kapoor almost molested his heroines in romance. Why is nobody talking about that?
We did talk about that.
No, no, because
No,
the
what is
world has changed now, yeah. It is.
We
Who's this
did talk
arrested?
about that, but he, just the difference is उसका असर 20-30 साल के बाद पड़ रहा है.
वो भी दिल्ली में.
Kali are trying to act macho, and this is affecting even small towns who are losing politeness and trying to act very dabang by using vulgar lines.
More
Why
Wasipur
is
than
the script
Dabang.
harping on all this, on kinds of Kalis, Maap and Kali, because
We being educative.
Is this true?
and heroines are doing it.
Yeah, but I don't think there is any need for expletives and abuses, Kabir. There's all these MCs, BCs, and all what is going on has been now used as a tool, especially for a lot of people who.
Shekhar, I think everything is in context. We should see everything in context. I mean, even if when we are talking about how women are going to be filmed on screen now, it should be in context. I mean, if the film is about marital rape, then the film will have those scenes. You can't make a film without it. So, and all over the world, you have certifications which tell you what the film is about. And you are free not to see it. TV shows I can't talk about.
Not really. Please quote an example if you can. Then we'll know what to tell you, because over here.
Yeah, but
we
I
are
agree
blank.
with Vikram what he says, that no matter what you do, you have the choice not to see it.
Yeah, because then you have, you know, if your film is A, it's now like Bandit Queen.
I was just thinking of Bandit Queen.
Without
Yeah.
language, because it's not.
Or even that explicit scene.
No, we made Mansingh Daku long ago without any abuses.
Yeah, but I love Bandit Queen.
Yes, I know. I
Yeah,
love
for
the
example,
opening
Bandit
line.
Queen dealt.
Can somebody else give me a question? Sushma, you wanted to ask a question?
I have a question. Talking about a good script, I feel sometimes the scriptwriter, sometimes he doesn't really build on the fringe characters. Like a woman's character is hardly ever developed. Like recently, Special Chabis, Kajal Agarwal's track it made it really insignificant. So is it like a conscious decision to focus on the lead? Because to be a good script, I think all the characters should be equally developed. And most of the time, a woman is not that developed. I mean, she's just there for a moral support or something probably of that sort. So,
Support is always a good thing. But to answer your question about Special Chabis, I think it is more out of the need to have some commercial viability with Akshay Kumar because you have in Special Chabis. But I think that's not. I think that's an exception. There are more and more films. I think more and more female-oriented films are doing well. Kahani is a case in point. Dirty Picture I have tried to do it myself. Dangerous didn't work, but I attempted it. So I think more and more
no, but it also depends on what the film is about. Like I said, there are different genres of films. If you see a Barfi, then you'll say, okay, those two women probably collectively had more work to do than Ranbir. You know, so you can't just catch hold of one film and say, is film mein, is heroine ka kaam itna kyun nahi tha? Because maybe she was not actually in the film. She's not, the film does not revolve around her. The story is not around her. You know? So, yeah, it's a very generic point of view, actually.
Anybody else?
Actually, I just would like to know from the panel the ingredients of the script, which was not clear from your discussion, because the end result which you said that the audience should take a message. And when our Indian industry is writing a script, this script is destined only to India. They don't consider the development of audience within India and outside India. As far as the Hollywood is concerned, the internal revenue generated within the country is very less than the exterior world which they are getting the revenues. If I give you the example of Warner Brothers, if they earn $1 million in US, $3 million comes from outside the world, out of US. In India, 90% of the revenue generated, 93% of the revenue generated within India, whereas only 7% is generated outside India. So when we are writing a script, will our ingredient can attract more audience internationally, not necessarily for us to do film in Hindi language, but we can also do it in English. When I approach certain production companies, I ask them that I want to make a film in English, nobody is ready to finance. So can the ingredient of the script be changed and not a naive kind of Indian cinema is produced? Because for international audience, still Indian cinema is naive. Ingredients of the script of Indian films.
Why can't we make films for international audience? You must understand.
Absolutely.
More than half the world is English. You have US, UK, Canada, Mexico, Latin America, you have England, you have Netherlands, you have Australia, New Zealand. They have a world market. We make films for our people, for our country, and that's how our entertainment business is. We don't make entertainment for the world, because who's going to make entertainment for our people?
Right. I think I would love to continue the discussion, and we've all had a very spirited discussion here, but I think we've run over time, and I think we need to bring this session to
What is the inference, Kabir? I think there would always be, it has been since time immemorial, two kinds of audiences, two kinds of films. One with the script, one without the script. There are audiences that would want a script-oriented film, and the one that doesn't care for a script, and that'll go on forever. That's what I feel.
No, that's a fair point of view. Not everyone would share it, but it's certainly valid. Let's say thank you to each one of you, and may I call, and we will all wish to present you mementos of this occasion. So may I call on Mr. Jinendra Bhandari and Mr. Dharmesh Anjian, who are both committee members, to please come on stage and present the mementos to our distinguished panelists, and we thank them greatly for their presence here. A big hand to all of them. Please bring the thing forward. Please go forward quickly. No. Thanks, Raveena.
Thank you, Kabirji.
Pleasure, my pleasure. Alert film का क्या हुआ? गायब ही हो गया. Thank you so much. Thank you.